Cassie and Jack, we'll start with yours. So here's the image. I'm not sure if we got the most updated version of all of the images, but this is just for reference. We also watched all of the illustration videos, so we were able to kind of see Sophie's process and kind of pull in musical elements from your videos and the illustrations. So before we play it, some of the things you'll hear are a drone, which kind of represents the anchor, some rising and falling motives in the flute, which is kind of the watery, the ebbs and flows, some butterfly motives with the flute using a flutter tonguing, and then bowed vibraphone, which could be sunlight or kind of a whale call. So I'll go ahead and play that.
I love it. It's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. I really like that, it's you guys don't know us except for what you've seen in our films. And I mean, it was the same with Sophie. It was amazing to see what she could pull um, from the video and from our story. So just being able to hear it from somebody else's perspective, so you guys putting music to it is amazing to me. So I think it's perfect.
Thank you. I'm glad. I mean, each and every video was so rich. I mean, there was a lot in your videos that you shared with us. So thank you. Sean, do you have anything to?
Yeah, I know it might be hard to come up with any feedback just like right now in this moment. Really think on it. We can share these files too with you, where you can listen to it again if you'd like. And then tomorrow, day after, whenever, you can always give that feedback to us if you think, oh, I want a guitar here, or if you think of what would really take it to over the top, then please just let us know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you listen to some of the other ones too, you might hear other musical elements like a higher flute or a lower flute, or we don't have any of the strings yet, but if you think of something else or hear something else. So Allison is Timothy is next. So in this one, you'll hear obviously the bridge is a very important symbol. So for that, we have the bass flute right now, which does kind of a gradual up and down. Over the course of the 30 seconds, it steps up and with a couple little dips in it, and then comes back down. So you hear that throughout the course of it. And then the piccolo flutters kind of in conversation represent the butterflies and the dove. And then the drum is the heartbeat that was at the very beginning of your video. So here is the draft of that.
was very rich.
Mm.
Very nice. I don't know if I missed the drum for the heartbeat. I don't know where that was in the segment.
Mm.
Depending on what speakers you might be listening to, the lower frequency might not be coming through as much. That would be solved when I do the final mix and master. I could get you a better version though.
That was very beautiful.
So
I like the underlow, the lower tone, and then the floaty higher instruments on top. It was nice.
Mm.
It made me think of nature.
Good, that's great. Would you want any more of those textures?
I do love the French horn, and my Irish heritage would love a penny whistle. If you could which would probably give you the same type of fluttery sound as well.
It so happens that the drum that I used to record the heartbeat is an Irish drum. It's the Irish bodhrán.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I have it right here. Actually, I am also Irish, so I felt like this drum happens to be really great because the way it's used in music is usually as the heartbeat behind music. So yeah, I'm happy that you actually said that. That works out well.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, so we can add some penny whistle and French horn to yours.
Great, thank you. Since you offered.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe we can listen again and see if you can think of like if you would want the French horn as like a more central figure or as a texture.
I think it like you had the lower note, so it would probably just go in with the lower bass part.
Okay.
Somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Do you mind if we listen again quickly?
No, not at all.
Okay, great.
Thinking about it, I don't even know if you need the penny whistle because the piccolo kind of is very similar in the same family anyway.
Yeah, we could send you two different versions. We could do one with the penny whistle instead, unless you like the piccolo.
It sounded very nice, but again, I could not hear that drum beat anywhere.
Yeah, I'll definitely get that up in the mix, especially when I do the final mix and master.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, so yeah, I think a French horn would sound really beautiful with that kind of in tandem with the lower bass flute.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's really beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for your ideas too. Okay, so let's move on then to Maureen and Isaiah. So in this one, we pulled from the swinging, the image of the swing, to have a more rocking motion to it. There are some brush sounds that you'll feel that we thought were kind of grass-like too, because there's so many scenes of playing baseball and being out in the grass. Then there's piano, which is the main part of it, which kind of matches the Jesus Loves Me that runs throughout your video. And the whistle, you'll hear a little bit of the whistle in the background, which is kind of, we thought, a more heavenly sound, kind of a distant voice, but still present. So those are some elements. that we pulled from the video and the image. So we'll listen to that.
Yeah, I'd say that's perfect.
Mm.
You guys are like nailing it. They're all so beautiful. And I think just the purpose behind all of it is just really getting us. So
Mm.
it's fabulous.
The one that the part that really stuck out about this one to me was in the video talking about how it wasn't ever about the trophy. It was about like just playing. It brought me back to playing. I have 2 older brothers, so I remember, playing and just like running around. So the brush sounds, especially just and like the tapping, really just especially brought me back to just simply playing. Not for the trophy.
Mm.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And again, yeah, if you anything that comes up after we send the files, just let us know. But yeah.
There, just looking at the picture though, this picture was actually updated.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think there are a few where maybe there have been tweaks made, like the trophy, I think is no longer included. But yes, we will make sure that they're matched up with the final version.
Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to Megan and Ryder. This one. So this one, all of the others, there was music in the videos, and this one was interesting because there wasn't any sounds to kind of pull from already. But this is what we came up with, is kind of, there's a main single line of melody that has parts weaving in and out of it, and that represents Megan's narrative, your narrative as the main voice there, with the in and out of the dissonance of, you'll hear it kind of shifts. I don't want to use too technical of language, but the chords shift, they go back and forth, and that represents a bit of the uncertainty. There are some what we call extended techniques on the flute in this one. I'll maybe demonstrate it right now so you know what to listen for, but it's pretty, it's like this, flute clicks. And just wanted to let you know about that first, because there's a lot of different paces that I could do those at if you want to keep them, and you don't have to, but they can be manipulated a lot. And that was also to kind of represent some of the overwhelm that there might be a lot of voices from both internally and externally, expectations, things like that you talked about. So that was an element we wanted to include, but not have it be the main thing. And then there's also some humming that you'll hear. So we'll go ahead and share that.
They remind me of like typewriter kind of, which totally goes with like I'm constantly doing like a narrative in my brain of everything I see and do and experience. So I really, really like that.
Great, that's good to know. Any other, did you feel like it captured the kind of the emotion?
Yeah, so I could tell the uncertainty. And yeah, like that's how my video was. It was like pretty just raw emotion. And I mean, the kind of the backstory with that was I sat here for months, the equipment, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. And then finally one day I was just having a really hard day. And I was like, you know what? This is what it is. This is what it looks like. So I got it out and I hit record and I just sat in front of pictures of him. And so, yeah, it wasn't even a planned, like, I'm going to sit down and do it today. It was just an uncertain video. So, yeah, you did really well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. We wanted to make sure it wasn't too dissonant, you know, but it sounds like it was a good balance. Okay. All right, well, we'll move on. And if you think of anything else, again, just let us know after you get the file. Actually, one question. Would you want to record any humming of your own voice to be included in the audio?
I can.
You don't have to. I'm just
No, I
offering.
can. I mean, that's a neat idea. It's different. So, yeah, I can.
Okay. We can connect with you after the meeting then to just send you the file and see what the best setup would be. But I think yeah, if you're willing to do it, that I don't necessarily need my voice to be in it. The humming part of it. All right, so we'll move on to the last one, and then we can talk about the opening and closing music again. Tara and Elizabeth. In this one, the video ends with the chain, the dancing scene, which is very powerful. And so we kind of took the pulse from that, the guitar pulse from the chain. So that's the through line in this draft. And then we wanted to come up with a heart-shaped motive, which basically means the notes, they start, it's and it traces a heart. So dum da 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 dum, like that. So that's what you'll hear kind of developing and layering a little bit on top of one another, and then growing a bit in the end, because your video will be the last one. So this music will kind of grow into the closing music. So here's the audio for that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
That is really beautiful. So thank you. It's just perfect. It just reminds me also just dancing. When I think of Elizabeth, I can see her dancing and twirling, and it's really beautiful.
I think the flute, almost like a duet. I think of Tara and Elizabeth sharing that duet, that last dance. It reminded me of her movie perfectly.
That's really
yes, I
beautiful.
agree. It's just very beautiful. I'm a novice at best. I play the violin and the piano. I always sang to her. My sister's an opera singer. We're a very musical family, and I just think that what you perfect.
Thank you. I'm glad. That's Allison. That's really beautiful. The way, yeah, that wasn't intentional. The duet, but yeah, it works. Tara, would you want any violin or string instrument?
I think it's perfect. I'd leave it.
Okay. Okay, we can do that. All right. Thank you all so much for listening and giving feedback. So we have, 15 minutes still, so we can talk about the opening music again. Okay, so we'll start with Cassie and Jack. All right, Timothy, Allison and Timothy. All right, Maureen and Isaiah. Here's Megan and Ryder. and Tara and Elizabeth. All right, so maybe we'll listen now to the opening music. Okay.
I mean, I don't know, y'all. I think it's like perfect. I mean, it's just beautiful. I'm not musically inclined at all. I love to listen to music, all kinds, but I could not tell you anything that you guys, Allison, you seem to know what you're talking about a little bit. I have no idea, but it is just beautiful. And I don't know, that piano towards the end just really gets me. It's like, get ready, get ready for all of us. So, I don't know. I love it.
So maybe we just have no foreshadowing and we have the motives come into the closing music. That's an option too. We don't have to add anything to the opening music. Obviously open to what you guys think.
To say more about that, so I'm clear. It's like,
yeah.
Is it? I think I am a very concrete person, so like a flute that I would hear in one of them. You're saying you might introduce it earlier in the opening.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, so we could just have like little flutters from the flute, from the butterfly motives. We could have a little bit of the bridge motive, you know, in the bass flute. We could have just kind of intersperse the pacing of the opening music is very open. It's not, you know, none of this is notated. So we could just have little elements and put them really in the background so you can barely hear them. And then you'll hear them fully in the music, in the transition music. Or we could leave it as is and kind of have those little elements come in the closing music instead. Yeah, is that clear?
Yeah, that helps me. And so, Cassie, you were sort of nodding along about the closing. Do you want to say something about that?
Oh, I think that's a nice idea to just like bring it all back together, those pieces in the end, so people will remember the whole way back to the butterflies and the bridge, and you know, bringing it all back together. Yeah.
I think the artist Sophie, I believe, said that the visuals themselves actually also tie together. So I think having the musical motives kind of tie together as well for the closing music, I think would pair nicely with that.
Maureen, I saw you put your camera back on. Do you want to say something?
I was going to say, I agree with Cassie. I like the way it is. And then just a little bit from each of the individual ones in the end. That just, it sounds fabulous just to bring everybody kind of full circle back through all of them.
Yeah, I really like that. That would be very cool. Are there any particular things, and again, you can let us know, that you heard from your musical motives that you would want in the closing music?
I think
the expert should do it. You guys decide. You guys are doing a great job.
Cassie, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say too, like, this has just been such an amazing process from start to finish. And those of us that were able to hang in there, I feel like our stories do like complete each other, and they do all connect in some way, shape, or form. And that's how we connect as a group. So I think bringing it all back together and connecting us, like the artwork does, and then the music does as well, because even when you listen to them all together, you can hear like it's just a nice flow. So that's my musical expertise.
Megan, you're giving a thumbs up. Is there anything you want to add?
No, I am not musically inclined either. I will sing in the radio or in the car to the radio. So that's the extent of it. I did try to play the saxophone, I think once when I was in like 3rd grade. So again, I'm not musically inclined.
Failed it
so I'm with Kat
in 3rd grade.
Failed
it.
Yeah, I don't even know why they tried. So no, I agree, Cassie. I think
my husband actually tried to play guitar. I feel really bad saying this, but he's not very musically inclined either. But we did like lessons for a whole year after Jack died, and he's still very terrible at it. And we have 3 guitars, and we have an amp and all kinds of stuff, and it's just sitting there collecting dust. But you know, hey, he gave it his all, and he thinks he's gonna be like on The Voice someday. So we're just gonna let him feel that.
So I think this is amazing. I mean, I too am not musically inclined, but I love listening to it. And that's where I think, you know, we're so fortunate to be able to work with Sean and Claire and their group. because they do know what they're doing. And I don't even know the language to describe it, right? But the layering and the thoughtfulness about how it all comes together. I mean, you're a true artist, right? And so we really appreciate that you've taken the time to work with us on this. I also am really glad for everybody to have the opportunity to provide feedback. I mean, I think what we want is for this to be a collaboration. So when we send the files, if there is something that does not resonate, or you don't like as much, I think they're very open to that feedback, because what we want this to be is a piece that does reflect the films that you created and help us to bridge and blend everything together. And so I love, Claire, that you asked Megan to do the humming on hers, because we really don't, we didn't want to include anybody else's voices in this. And so even to that level of ensuring that, Megan, hopefully you're comfortable doing it, right? But to ensure that, it is the music and the films, and they then speak for themselves. So I cannot thank you all enough for coming along on this journey with us. And we are so incredibly humbled to be a part of it. So I hope that we do it all justice. And again, always open for feedback, good, bad, all of it. But I know it's hard to take an hour outside of your time in the evening. So I want to respect everybody's time too. I don't know if Claire and Sean, you have any final comments, or Sarah, if there's anything that we want to talk about.
I just want to thank you all. It's been really a pleasure to work on this project, and thank you also, just echoing what Jesse said, thank you for taking the time to be here in real time and give us feedback. And it's really been a meaningful project for me to be a part of, even just this small part of it. And I know you've put so much of yourselves into it. So thank you.
Yeah, I could just quickly double that as well. Thank you so much for bringing us onto this project. It's not every day that we get to use the skill set that we have, and the tools that we have to express different emotions in such a meaningful way, truly beyond anything that I've ever really gotten to take part in musically. So yeah, thank you. And seriously, with the feedback, I'm sure Claire and I have received much harsher feedback than what you could hurl at us. So yeah, and we'll get you those recordings as well. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we will make sure you get the recordings, and Maureen, we will make sure you get the information about, everybody gets the information about the Lullaby project, and a chance to learn a little bit more about that. Sarah, did you want to do a group photo? Is that something? Oh. What were you asking?
Yeah, so I think related to just like updates about the project, and I think also for Claire and Sean to like discuss kind of the work that they do in this, community engaged music making space. We just wanted to make sure it was okay if we took a photo from our video and shared that. Obviously, all of our names will be blocked out. But just as kind of showing our process, that would be super helpful. We can send that picture to you guys if you want, but just to show kind of part of the process, I think, am I getting that right, Claire? Like just a snapshot behind the scenes. How do we work with communities to make amazing music? That was my interpretation, but please correct me if I got that wrong.
Yes, no, that's absolutely right. Better than I would have said it. Okay.
So yes, if anyone has any issue with that, or if you don't want us to take a screenshot from this Zoom video, let me know. I'm happy we can blur it out. So email me, and I will be emailing you all once I get all of the clips from Claire and Sean, and we'll be looking forward to hearing any additional feedback after you sleep on it. And obviously we're really excited to finalize all of the visuals, your films with the music. I think all of the pieces together are going to be just incredible. I mean, they're all incredible in disparate parts, so I can't even imagine what it's going to be together. So just thank you for taking the time out this evening. And I think that's all that I have. Jesse, any final words?
I think that's it. I mean, I think everybody knows sort of the timeline. The goal is that we will be sharing it at the beginning of November. I believe you have all agreed to be on a panel discussion about it, which is amazing. And the parts have gone to the editor, and sort of we've been working with her as she's sort of integrating all of this. So it is all coming together. And again, can't thank you enough. So if you have any questions about any of it, let us know and we'll be happy to answer them or to find an answer for you. And Tara, thanks for joining. And I hope the football game is going well. All right. Great.
Yes, look forward to seeing you guys all on the 8th. I think everyone will be there, and we'll be there to celebrate all of this work coming together. So thank you all. We'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you all. Have a great evening. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.